now to the Roman Guzman, and he is going to be covering our Bible reading this evening, and it's taken from Numbers 22:36 through 23:10.
When Balak heard that Balaam had come, he immediately went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which is on the bank of the Arnon on the border of the territory. Balak said to Balaam, "Did I not send for you? Why did you not come to me? Did you think I am not able to honor you greatly?" Balaam replied to Balak, "Well, I have come to you now, but will I be allowed to say anything? I can only speak words that God puts in my mouth." So Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath-huzoth. Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep and sent some to Balaam and the princes who were with him. In the morning, Balak took Balaam and brought him up to Baal. From there he could see all the people. Then Balaam said to Balak, "Build on this spot 7 altars and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me." Balak immediately did just as Balaam had said. And Balak and Balaam offered up a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam then said to Balak, "Stay here by your burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps Jehovah will get in touch with me. Whatever he reveals to me, I will tell you." So he went to a barren hill. Then God got in touch with Balaam, who said to him, "I set the 7 altars in row, and I offered up a bull and a ram on each altar." Jehovah put this word in the mouth of Balaam. "Return to Balak, and this is what you are to say." So he returned and saw that Balak and all the princes of Moab were standing by his burnt offering. Then he spoke this proverbial saying, "Balak, the king of Moab, has brought me from Aram, from the mountains of the east. Do come to curse Jacob for me. Yes, come to denounce Israel. How could I put a curse on those whom God has not cursed? And how could I denounce those whom Jehovah has not denounced? From the top of the rocks I see them, and from the hills I see them. As a people they dwell there alone. They do not count themselves among the nations. Who can number the dust particles of Jacob, or count even the 4th part of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright, and let my end be like theirs."
Thank you, Brother Guzman, for covering that Bible reading for us. That was done just right, just with the correct dignity that it needs to have a Bible reading. We think about that third lesson in our BE book here is correct pronunciation. We think of how important that is to pronounce the words in the Scriptures correctly. We think about the proper pronunciation adds to the dignity of the message we preach. It allows a listener's attention to be focused on the message we preach rather than on any other mistakes in pronunciation. So you did a very fine job of that. We think about some of the lessons we've seen of ones in the Bible, that they were just ordinary men. It talks about Peter and John being unlettered and ordinary, and that's what most of our brothers and sisters in the congregation are. But that doesn't give us the license to maybe pronounce words poorly. It's something done with dignity here. So we think about some of the pitfalls that we need to avoid in reading from the Scriptures. We need to avoid being overly precise, because this can give a bad impression of what we're reading. It can even make us look snobbish when we're reading. The same can be said of pronunciation that is no longer in general use. See, the only effect when you do something like this is to draw attention to the speaker, and that's not at all what we want to do. See, it's good to avoid the opposite extreme of using slovenly speech and pronunciation also. So we want to do the reading of the Scriptures and give it dignity, show it dignity. So we